What's clapping, everybody? Welcome to Anime Intervention. I am your host, BMG, here with my co-host, Clean Bean. What's clapping, dog?
Clapping, man. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too. It's good to see y'all as well. We are here for episode 44 of Anime Intervention. We're going to be discussing Wistoria Wand and Sword. Might throw in a little bit of sprinkles here and there of Classroom and Elite, right? Because that one's a good one.
That is a good one.
And we'll see if there's anything else we got to discuss. But personally, for me, I wanted to focus on Wistoria Wand and Sword because it really has been a big hit. Honestly, it was the first anime that I started this season. You might have thought it was Slime because I'm wearing a Slime hat, but it wasn't Slime. It was actually Story One. So I wanted to see the first episode to see where it was going to go. Then I moved over to Slime, and I'm pleasantly surprised. But before we jump in, you're caught up, right?
I am caught up.
Not like completely caught up because the season's still going.
Yeah,
but
season's still going.
I think the last episode that I finished was like 9 or 10, probably like 9 or 10, something like that. So you caught up. Okay, good. There will be major spoilers here, guys. So if you have not watched all of Wistoria Wand and Sword and you want to avoid spoilers, please either skip ahead or wait till the next episode because I'm going to try and get deep, okay? First and foremost, you predicted, I think it was about 4 or 5 episodes ago, that there was going to be destruction and despair, depravity.
It had to be.
Sin. And that's exactly what happened going into this. So how did you feel being validated going into this season?
I mean, it felt pretty good because now I know for a fact of what route it's going to go on, or at least from the beginning of the season.
Okay.
So I enjoyed that they brought in that different aspect because when you put up an anime, it's all like bright colored and about magic and, you got your little like high school bullies having ass motherfuckers. Sorry, excuse me, but like
it's true.
It has that like, that bright sense of, oh, this is gonna be a bright anime, When that second season hits, I need you to hit the fan. Everything don't matter anymore. Oh, the such and such was bullying you from before. Julius, he was being a dickhead. I remember. It don't matter.
That don't matter now.
It don't matter now. Now y'all gotta put your lives on the line, and you gotta team up and together to go and fight some of these anti magicians. Or what is it? I forgot what it's called, but those slayers.
Yeah.
Magic slayers.
Well, oh yeah, they call them like was it the magic slayers?
I don't know what it was.
Or wizard slayers? Nah.
Yeah, it's like anti-magic.
The swords were destroying, which is actually kind of crazy. Now I think about it, like having a weapon that could just completely nullify magic, but also cut mages in half, and it's like they're dead.
See, this is what they mean by wand and sword, all right?
Yeah,
that's what they mean.
Wand and sword.
All right.
I was intrigued because the first episode, started off sort of calm, right? You're thinking everything's gonna go smooth and well, but then by the end of the episode, you're realizing that they're screwed. And if I remember correctly, in that last episode, the first episode, that's when the invasion starts.
Yes, when they initially have to redo the barrier, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And all 5 of them come together, to a consensus and release their powers at the same time. And it's like that was perfect timing. I do have to
just calculate.
That was calculated, and it was really well done because it was a perfect opportunity, the perfect window to do that because they were vulnerable. Top 5 mages, very vulnerable, couldn't do anything. And if they moved, that means that they would that tower would be vulnerable as well. They wouldn't hesitate to infiltrate the tower. So it's basically they're on their hands tied, and everyone else has to fight and fend for themselves.
Deadass.
Civilians, oh yeah, bye.
Those
think
civilians
you're gonna survive?
Got destroyed.
Destroyed by either one of them getting sliced in half by explosions or by a building.
I like that the anime doesn't shy away from casualties, because I think that is what kind of sets the tone for when you're dealing with an anime that can potentially lead to a lot of death. A lot of, I don't know if you noticed this, but a lot of the anime from back then, that death happens here and there, whatever, but they don't really truly emphasize the impact that it has on the environment around them. I mean, there's some shows that do, but the shows that do are the ones that really stand out. And in this moment, with Story One and Sword does stand out with expressing how dangerous this invasion is, and all these people dying left and right. The city's on fire.
Mm-hmm.
All the mages are trying to protect everybody, but that don't matter because they're literally clapping all the cheeks. These guys with these giant swords, obviously they're monsters and everything, but they're chopping everybody up like they're on a chopping block, like they're making some food. And it's not even just them. It's not even just the civilians. It's also the mages that are supposed to be the strongest of the strong.
Yeah.
Like one dude
High
with
mages.
the fire, yeah, high mages. That one dude with the fire, you know what I'm saying? Like the
Mm.
yeah, he was like, oh, I'm cool like that, yo. He got the aura. Nah, bro. Nah. Homie got slashed 2 bits. Oh, jeez.
Oh
When I
man.
saw that, I was like, oh, so that's where we're going. That's where the season's heading.
Once I know someone got turned into a smoothie, I don't want to hear nothing. Okay,
God
go
damn.
ahead, pack it up. You're basically protein. I don't want to hear nothing. Okay, it's called a day.
Oh shit.
Mm.
It was a big surprise for me. I'm not gonna lie, because I was expecting what you said to become true, but I wasn't expecting it to be so forward facing and immediately as soon as the season started. Because the last season did end on sort of that high note where, they just did this dungeon raid, so to speak. I think it was a dungeon.
Mm.
And things didn't pan out the way they were supposed to. They were actually I think it was a test, right? It was like a test that they were doing, right?
Initially, yeah, it was a test,
Yeah, it was a
but
test,
then
but then
it
it changed.
turns.
Yeah, it changed. So they were doing some sort of test, right? And it was tied with the magic school that they were going to, and there was supposed to be a bunch of teachers supervising and everybody supervising, but that completely went out the water when the villains of the story, the antagonists, got involved, right? So we got to see, I guess, the sort of the stakes that the show has
Mm-hmm.
in that moment. But it was eventually like snuffed out. Like, Will was the one who ended up saving them from. I mean, everybody worked together, but he was the catalyst for saving them in the first place and
Yeah.
making sure everybody was safe. So we got to see that danger firsthand, but it wasn't enough to be like, oh, all right, should I be scared? Now after seeing this, yeah, I'm scared. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know the full extent or the full rhyme or reason as to why these certain villains are doing what they're doing. We
Yeah.
just know that they're going against the grain and want to cause havoc, upon basically all mages. So I feel it did a good job because not only did we have, despair, but we had the main character absolutely blank out
Mm-hmm.
and being distraught because of the fact that Roasty got
Yo, Rossi got pooped on.
whopped. And
And
then
that,
just
all right, so this is, God damn, bro got destroyed. So, it's bad when, all right, you know how you watch certain shows like Naruto, something happens to Hinata, bro pops off, right?
mm,
Um, Goku, something happens to Krillin, he literally goes Super Saiyan. Um, you expect that to be the catalyst, right? And then you're like, any second now. Any second now, he's going to go absolutely insane. But it's not until he's on his last legs
mm,
that everything happens. It's not until your boy Finn shows up and is like, you need to look inside yourself.
yeah.
He's like, here, let me help you out.
Even his teacher got absolutely
His
donutted.
teacher got destroyed. I'm not gonna lie to you, I thought the teacher was dead.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna be dead
I thought
too.
he was gonna be dead. But I'm just thinking about that from a comparison standpoint. Even with that loss, even with that distress, he didn't have that evolution, that transformation after that. He didn't.
Mm.
He had it after Finn got involved. So if Finn wasn't involved, it would have been over.
This is what I've been saying. Finn has some sort of significance. I don't know what significance it is, but clearly he has been around the block. I'm talking like
For years.
couple. No, I know just years or like
Centuries.
centuries. Because what the fuck? He's been around the block, and I'm gonna bring up that point later. But let's continue on because there was something that I recently saw in the past episode,
Yeah,
recent that
yeah, we're gonna discuss that as well. But
yeah.
so this first like these first moments, and going into this is episode two, right? And I think it's either after episode two into episode three or during episode two, where you know Rusty does end up getting clapped, and Will gets saved by his teacher, but then his teacher ends up getting dogged, right? Finn lifts him up, basically helps him awaken this nature inside of him. At that point, I'm like, all right, yeah, this is it. It's a wrap. Because this is the point where it's supposed to be a wrap.
Mm.
But I didn't expect I actually thought Will was gonna get dogged more than he was. Because he was getting thrown around like a rag doll, but he was still getting up. He was like, yeah, you know? So
Hmm.
how strong is Will without all of that? So strong because this monster that's supposed to be like one of the strongest monsters, and he's supposed to be like, I think they mentioned what floor, like the middle levels or something of the tower that
Hmm.
he's supposed to be in, that he came from, is supposed to be like super strong. And you see what he's doing to all these mages. These high mages, they don't stand a chance. And Will is over here surviving. I mean, obviously he has an advantage because he doesn't have, the magic. He's fighting with his pure brute strength. But you're like, damn, how strong is Will really? And then, because without all that stuff, he's strong. But then you add in all that other stuff with him using this magic called Whis,
Hmm.
then it's like, all right, now we're talking.
Now we're talking because now we have some basis as to more explanation. Sorry, more exploration towards what this story is about. What is Wiz? What is the power of it? Why is everyone so intrigued with it?
Mm-hmm.
And it seems as though it's something that overtakes everything. Like I'm talking about magic and even swords. Like what is Wiz itself? So we get to see that happen, and like will display that. We also get to see him, apply someone's magic towards himself,
Mm-hmm.
like he originally did when it came to the first season towards the end.
Yeah,
But now we have Alfaria, well, Elfie,
chipping in,
chipping in.
which I did think was a really, really cool moment. I felt some type of way when that happened. I was like, that was pretty dope because he was, I wouldn't say he was on his last legs, but like he was like getting down there. Like he was like, all right, I don't have any magic to take care of this. And then Alfario was like, let me walk out there and help him out. I love how all the because obviously the manga vendor, they couldn't go out to help out because they would put everybody else in danger.
Mhm.
Um, and they were this close to going out there. And then you can see Alfaria was really mad because she was like about to freeze the place. Like, I'm trying to go out and help. And then she decides to just go out for a little walk.
Mhm.
And that's the help. Which honestly, if that's all he needed, any one of them could have done that. Be like, here, take some
Yeah,
magic, buddy.
literally anyone could have just been like, "Yo, there you go."
Here, take some
My
magic.
hand slipped.
Now, to be fair, yeah, my hand slipped. To be fair, Alfaria's magic and his, I feel like they have some sort of some like synergy. Um,
Hmm.
and you could tell this because later on in the season we'll discuss this, but that they've had that synergy from the past. So I feel like that just kind of brought back these powers and abilities and almost at the same time memories, but not really, where he is tapping into a potential that he has experienced before, and now he's going to destroy this guy, and that's literally what happens.
Hmm.
So, so yeah, I was surprised, but let me ask you something though. The fact that Will is a magicless um human or magicless person
Hmm.
draws some comparisons to another show that we know all too well, and I'm sure y'all know as well, Black Clover, who Asta is also magicless. Um, Obviously, there's more to it than that if you know about the story and what resides inside of him, but
Hmm.
well, like not inside him, but inside the grimoire that he gets, right? Um, all of that ties them together in a way that is unexpected, but at the same time, there are a lot of differences. So I love when people say, they're both magicless. Yes. But what about Asta's personality and what about Will's personality? They're two different types of MCs.
Hmm.
Um, and like I just said with the previous statement about how he had an awakening, but it wasn't triggered by rage. It wasn't triggered by somebody dying and sadness. it was triggered by somebody helping him out. Asta's the other way around because everything that happened, it was triggered by his rage.
Mm.
And he's a loud guy too.
Yeah, like I can't say like Will wasn't obviously upset in that situation. He
Mm-hmm.
probably was, but
Yeah.
it's not the catalyst because of the fact that he would have, if that was the case, would have been from the freaking jump when
Mm-hmm.
his roommate got clapped. Like,
Yep.
uh, if that's the case, that's the perfect opportunity because then you would also have another an opportunity for the teacher to step in and be like, "No, Will, calm down." How many times have we seen that?
Yeah.
How many times have we seen the teacher, come in and try to calm down the student that's, you
Literally
know,
going haywire.
going haywire? Like, um,
Which is why I like this approach. I feel like it's
yeah,
different. You know.
I do like it too. It's different from the norm rather than just like, oh, let's fall into the same exact, footsteps. But
Mm-hmm.
I like that you needed that encouragement from another person that you've never like had like a full on connection with one on one. Like you, and it's weird, but at the same time, it hints at what his
Yeah.
significance is.
Exactly.
So I like that.
And it's funny because you see how the other characters in the show sort of like, yo, Finn, you really did it. Did what? He's like, the wand and sword. You're like, what do you mean the wand
What?
and sword? What are you
Like
talking
what?
about? So you're just waiting for all these mysteries to sort of like come out to the open and sort of resolve itself in a way, but also
Mhm.
like be revealed to the public. And we are starting to see that going into the rest of the season. Now, Will does eventually save. This is going back to he saves them. He saves practically everybody.
Yeah.
Now, if Will wasn't there, would they have been saved? Yes, I think so. But there would have been way more casualties,
Yes.
and they probably would have had to wait for one of the Magia vendor to regain some of their strength before they go out there and then take care of everything. But by that point, I feel like most people would be dead. I have the feeling that if even if the Magia vendor didn't get down there, there was still the last line of defense at the school where the headmaster was, which I think the headmaster is pretty strong, so I feel like she probably would have taken care of it. But even then, there still would have been a lot of casualties at that place.
Yeah, you have the headmaster, which oh, now I think about it, those high mages probably would have had difficulty too,
Hmm.
like the ones inside the tower. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll see.
yeah, considering the fact that they were, on the lower end.
Hmm.
But it really just depends on where they are, which is we'll get into that specifically the tower. But before that point, right before the tower, and after he saved everybody, there's the rebuilding part. We do get that conversation where they're talking about the amount of casualties. I think they said it was like 3,000 dead. I'm not too sure. I can't remember, but
Hmm.
it was a lot of people that died. Um, and it's up to them and up to the city to just rebuild itself and get back on track. I'm sure they've obviously made some modifications to their defenses to try to prepare just in case it was just to happen again. But chances are it's probably not going to happen again, considering that the only opportunity was available because of the Magia vendor being vulnerable. But now they're not vulnerable anymore. So the next chance they would have for something like that would be a year down the line, or if they manage to perfect that so-called um, mage nullifier
Hmm.
type type, like magic, even though it's not really magic. Um, it's almost like the sword, the sword.
Yeah.
So at this point, they're practically about to graduate. This is graduation.
Yeah. This is graduation. They, you know, find out whether or not they're heading to the tower, and we had some hesitation with, some of the guild masters and like, but specifically with Will because they were like, wait a minute, it's just against our whole entire, thing. Like, we need magic and we're trying to make it the epicenter of what is, I don't know, deemed to be the best or, high status in society.
Mm-hmm.
So what if this person ends up, graduating from our, institution and did it without magic at all, without the use of it? Like, what does that say about the rest of us in a way? And I feel that was reflected a lot when it came to that teacher. Crap, what's his name with the long black hair? Oh my
Yeah, I think his,
gosh.
his name is a professor. It was Edward Serfants.
Yes, yes, Edward, Edward.
Yeah, yeah, that's the one.
I feel like he had that mixed feeling because he inside like he's like this is against everything that you know I've grown up on, but also at the same time he had like a little smidgen of like I want to protect this kid because he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't know what the tower entails, but he does. He looks like he's been through some
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You ever see someone with like dark hair and like bags and they look like they skinny? They've
And
been through some shit.
brooding, they've definitely been through something.
Something.
And it's probably what made him that way. Uh, I'd have to assume.
Mm.
And the ones who would have more information on that would be his cohorts, right? Because and you learn this within the season that they were kind of like part of a trio. It was the three of them. Like it was
Mm.
him, it was Professor Workner, and it was that other lady that you see later on, the
Yeah.
witch who's on a broom
Mm.
with I don't even know if her eyes are even showing.
Blonde hair,
Blonde
bangs,
hair,
covering
yeah, the bangs
eyes.
covering eyes, yeah. So, they had a relationship. So I'm sure that, we'll probably get that information later down the line, I'm sure. But like they have to know what has happened to this guy to bring him down this low. Because if they have that sort of rapport already, like existing,
Mm.
it means that he was either always that way or something made him that way. So it's got to be the tower. It's almost as if like you know how like um when you see somebody, you know what they're gonna go through, so you just don't want them to go through it. So you'll do everything in your power to stop them from going through it. He
Mm.
cares for him for sure, but there's got to be something more. There's got to be something more there.
Yeah, there's got to be something more. It's hard for you to be in a position to want someone to not do something when all you've been doing from the jump is like,
Trying to get in his way, like
nah,
even the
get the
test, like
fuck out of here.
like what are we doing?
Oh, wait a minute, you
Like
here?
the final test. Yeah, yeah, you hear yo. Like even the final test, like I had a question on it that was just like
It's like, what?
you're like, what? Why is it that I have to answer this question when I have no magic?
Mm.
And he's not gonna be able to answer because he doesn't know what
Yeah,
it feels like. So
was targeted.
he was 100% targeted. He was the target. So now, just thinking of that, he's gonna have some significance in the future for sure. I just don't know what it is. But leading into the graduation, as you were speaking of,
Mm.
that played a part in Will even getting picked in the first place. He wasn't going to get picked to go to the tower because he missed by like I think it was like a point or something, or was it 2 points? I don't know what it was because he was supposed to get like a certain number of points, but he couldn't get it because of the test fail.
Test.
Um, yeah, I know he was upset. He was like, "Well, guess I'm not going to the tower." But then headmaster was like, "Psych,
Got you.
psych." But this is something that I want to bring up as well because I don't know if you remember within that scene there was something where like Finn was gonna use Will or basically take Will under his wing, but the headmaster stopped it from happening. So what do you think about that?
It means that there's some sort of distrust with Finn and the headmaster. That tells me that something has happened prior to. It could have been with her and their own history, or it could
Mhm.
have been maybe with another student that had some promise. So when we think about that situation, we gotta kind of ask ourselves, why does that certain person behave that way? Because there's no way they just ended up the way they are.
No, no way.
We say it about the teachers. We say that about the magicians, even the high ends too. When we get to the tower and they're starting to head there, you as soon as you enter, you know everyone's like so thankful that they're here. Thinking that they about to stay for forever. And just go up to greater heights. Yeah, nah.
It's
By
like
the way, you have the shithole. I'm sorry, no offense, but like you're there. You think you're the cream of the crop, but nah. Everyone else was the cream of the crop, and you staying right there at that level if you don't prove yourself to these other factions. This is crazy.
that's I think that's the uh what's the saying? Nah, I'm trying to think of the saying. It has to do with the weak and the strong, but the
Um,
you know what I'm talking about. But I'm not gonna get it right now.
yeah,
Um, uh, at that point when he does get up there, right, and they do finally reach the tower. First of all, the fit was clean. The fits were clean.
yeah. The fits were really clean.
The first fits were those white fits. Like, damn. Honestly, I hope he stays white. Not gonna lie, the white, but
Hmm.
that's probably not gonna happen. Um, Going into that, you're wondering how is Will gonna make it this far because it feels like everything is stacked against him. Because the one break the one opportunity that he gets is from the headmaster, but it's not going to be like that up there. Not everybody's going to be like, oh, let's give him a break, this and that, whatever. No, no, they're going to be hard on him, and it's going to be, yeah, everything went against the Magic Academy, but then if you think about it, it's also going against everything the tower stands for as well. So
Yes.
everybody in the tower is probably going to be trying to bring Will down. So how does he navigate through that? And that's what the season I feel like is all about, because
Hmm.
we're at that point now. Well, past that point when he finally gets to the tower, they all get to the tower. There's a lot of candidates that make it to the tower. They are at first excited,
Hmm.
but then they realize that it's like literally you're trying to try out for a team.
Yep, it's the strong widow out the weak. Like, the weak will probably settle while the strong will climb up and try to get, good. Just get good now.
Just get good.
um, yeah. th- there's no way you're gonna be able to do anything unless you prove yourself through, well, what they did about the bloom thing.
That bloom.
So there's two of them that they're doing because they want to, have more candidates because of what's happened in the past, such as 3,000 people dying and how many majors they lost.
You're not surprised that the bloom
No,
was scuffed, are you? I
I'm
mean,
not surprised.
honestly, I'm not surprised that the bloom ended up being as tough as it was, but also that Will managed to destroy everybody because like he was gonna stand out no matter what. And that's literally what happened. He stood out and then almost everybody wanted him. But then this guy, this dude, what's his name? Krutz? This guy, what do you
Listen, I don't know why he thinks he's a shit. I know he thinks he's a shit. No offense, but like, look at his hair, bro.
100%.
He thinks he's like the one guy that's like, yo, I'm so hot, man. I got my routine. I got my facial cleanser, type shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, this and that. Nah, respectfully, I'm gonna drop kick you inside the teeth, okay? Because what are you doing?
Respectfully. He's that one guy. So he is supposed to be I guess the next Edward, right? The next Professor Edward. We're the one who is supposed to get in Will's way to stop him from advancing.
I guess so. Yeah, he's basically the next one because he. It's not even like oh well I have some personal disbeliefs. No, well it's that, but more of like, what, experiments on you. Yeah, yeah, it's over for you, buddy. Hmm?
He
Yeah, yeah.
gives
Get
me
undressed. Get undressed for me.
get
Yeah,
undressed.
yeah. That's that. He's creepy.
Yo,
He's creepy.
because he gives me I think I might have mentioned this before. He gives me Kurosuchi vibes. Like you know what I'm saying? Like we in Bleach right now. Kurosuchi about to dissect everybody. He'll mess you up. Like if you're the villain here, he'll mess you up. But the way he does it, the way he gets to that solution, is diabolical and unorthodox.
He at this honestly, Kurasuchi, I thought he was worse than the villains. He was
Yeah,
worse than the villains, bro.
exactly. So I'm wondering if this guy is gonna be sort of that next villain, and that's where I want to bring up a certain point here. Um, I don't think Wistoria Wand and Sword is doing enough of a job. I mean, let me wait here. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait and see.
Okay.
But I think there isn't a sort of centerpiece villain that we could sort of look at. Now, there are shows that do that, right?
Mm,
The villain doesn't have to be right in front of your face. As far as we're concerned, it's the Gotia, the Dark Faction, or whatever they're called, right?
mm,
It's them. But nobody has really like stood up and been like, all right, I'm the boss here. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm the one who's gonna be putting in the work.
mm-hmm.
So this is where I question Krutz, because what if Krutz is that sort of undercover secret leader of the entire organization kind of thing? You know what I'm saying?
Nah, nah. He's just a freak, dog. He's just a freak, man.
Yo, the way he cut the thing open, or did he like destroy it? I forgot what it was. The
Freaky geeky
yeah,
ass, man. Oh my gosh.
yo, he's like, I can't wait to dissect Will.
Man, cutting
Oh
up
my
like he
god.
acting like he cutting a pineapple. What are you doing?
Oh my, Will Serfort, Will. Let me.
Yeah.
Like that's basically what he's
Oh my
doing.
god.
Um, and that's where I'm very curious to see where that goes and how this goes on. Now we're recording this episode a day before the next episode comes out, which is supposed to be the next Bloom. the second bloom, the bloom where he's supposed to be getting a second chance, another opportunity to make an impact and really speak, well, his actions will speak on how he will be the perfect addition to the tower. Um, how is this guy Cruz gonna try and stop that during this bloom? Because Will is already, from what I've seen and what he unlocked it based off of going back into the past, which we'll actually discuss right now.
Mm.
But he unlocked his disability, so I'm wondering how is Cruz going to be able to stop him? And I have a feeling he's probably not going to be able to stop him.
Probably not. He's gonna try to find a way to manipulate him and utilize him as a whiz and infuse weapons with the power
With the
of
power.
whiz.
Yeah.
Um, what we learned eventually was what's her name. They were after the first bloom, right? And they basically pointed out the fact that he can't hit anything that has like sorry, what you call it? The was it those goo things? Those
It's
goo?
Yeah, I forgot the name of them, but it's basically along the lines of where the monster itself can't be killed with anything aside from magic.
Yes.
So if you don't have magic, you're not going to be able to kill it. And
Yes.
Will definitely had that trouble with that in the first bloom. But the only reason why it even happened in the first bloom was because Cruz wanted to freaking show off and say, "Hey, see, he can't even kill these things. He can kill everything else, but he can't kill this. So what's it going to matter?" You
Hmm.
know. So you're right. How did how do we get to that point? And that's where we get into the whole training thing, right? With Julius, which I find funny, by the way,
I find it.
because this dude's like, yeah, I'm gonna use Will, but at the same time, he cares. You know what I'm saying? Like he's
Yeah.
a tsundere, but he's a guy tsundere. Like
Yeah, he's a guy sender.
he's a guy, 100% a guy tsundere. But seeing his relationship with Will almost advance even greater than everybody else is kind of cool to see because the both of them are the ones who are left out. And
Hmm.
even though Julius is somebody who is talented, he's not scouted. And the main reason why he's not scouted is because of how he acts, you know?
Yes.
And it's just funny to see.
It's very funny because like he would think like, oh, but I'm so superior in terms of like magical power and even he said magical power like his capacity, how long he holds those spells or even like his range. He has definitely increased in all those facets.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is one his demeanor, two what he uses it for,
And he's arrogant
and he's
and
arrogant.
cocky. Now, obviously, there's other people there that are arrogant and cocky, but I think they're tasteful, arrogant, and cocky. They are
Hmm.
respectful in a way, but at the same time, arrogant and cocky, um, which is why they got scouted and he didn't.
Yeah,
Um,
like that Thunder guy, the Thunder magic offender. I'm pretty sure he comes off as like very prideful and
oh,
like, oh, I'm that nigga,
yeah, oh, 100%.
100%.
Because the way he walks around, the way he be talking to them, you're like, damn, this guy right here is the arrogant type. Honestly, that guy seems like the guy who would pick Julius. Not gonna lie to
Yeah,
you, but that didn't happen. So it is interesting to see that they're both kind of going through it because Julius almost deserves to be going through it. Will does not deserve to be going through it, but
yes,
Julius does. And seeing that sort of juxtaposition, that I guess having both of them side by side, dealing with these adversities at the same time is crazy because you get to see two different perspectives.
mm,
Julius, yeah, he does want to use Will, but at the same time, you could see that he actually does care. And that's something that you won't really know until you reach this point because back then we hated him.
yeah.
Because this bro really went up in the dwarf restaurant, pub, whatever, and started fucking shit up. And you're like, you
That
sure you want to do that, buddy? Like, and then what do you have to do? He had to do chores after that.
payback.
Run do chores. So this is the case where he's a character that we're not supposed to like until later on. Like we're supposed to eventually turn around for this guy, and I like that. But it wasn't even just him though; it was Sion as well.
Yes, it was Sion as well. He was the OG turnaround guy.
Exactly, and we did get to like him more in the first season, but also into the second season, you see it. You're like, who started clapping first? Can you believe that? Like I was like,
That's true.
this
I
guy,
was
the respect. I was like, you know,
growth.
That is friendly competition right there. I like that guy. So, in this case with Julius and the training obviously does not go as well as it's supposed to.
Mhm.
But then we get the introduction of one of the most grandly designed witches I've ever seen, Ceridwen.
Yeah, not gonna lie to you.
That design is crazy. I'm
That
like,
design is great. The hair color, the blue and then red, and then like even the eyebrows matching the same, and the eyes too. I was like, that's a witch.
I was like, yo, that's a witch right there.
You
You
got it.
can't beat it. That might be one of the greatest design witches of the past decade and a half,
Hmm.
maybe more. I was like, damn. I was like, yo, this witch is powerful for sure. And
Yep.
what ended up happening? She ended up being powerful as fuck. How she able to use every single element? What? What are we doing here? Except for light.
Yeah,
Except for
except
light.
for light, which I wanna figure out like why light?
Yeah, I want to
Why
know.
only light? It's interesting.
I'm very interested in her, and this is where I'll ask you this: how do you feel about the tower? Because going into the tower, you see that there's a whole nother city that's supposed to be the first floor, right?
Mm.
And you see that there are a bunch of mages that are stuck on the first floor. They have to work on the first floor because they never actually gotten drafted. You can't climb the tower unless you do get drafted. Look, I feel like this is freaking NBA or something. Um,
Yeah.
so you can't climb it. So you have to stay there and you're forced to basically be a low level mage down there at the bottom taking care of business.
Mhm.
But it's completely different from the outside because the town outside the tower, the city, things are different. It feels like, it's more colorful, everything's more enjoyable. And you come here, things are more like concise, strict, to the point. Everybody's wearing white. Obviously, there's the ones who don't, but like most of them are because they haven't been drafted. You're like, I want to learn more about what happens down here. But at the same time, you also want to learn more about everything else in the tower. So how do you feel like going into this? Like, do you feel like this tower has a lot to offer in terms of lore? Like, I feel like we're missing a lot of information
We're
here.
missing a lot of information because not only are we missing, okay, how the factions were created, but also why are we making like a subset of people underneath do all, not the dirty work, but basically function, make the tower function. And it seems as though for a place that's advertised in a way to be the, the pinnacle of magic and learning, it has its, darkness
Oh yeah.
added added to it. It's not to the forefront, but once you get there, boom, reality. Yeah. Yeah, you getting drafted. Okay, congratulations. You getting drafted? Let's see how long you stay in the
good,
NBA.
good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck, buddy.
Good luck.
And those mages, I want to see. This is where I think the backstory of the other professors will be crucial here because I feel like they might have ascended the tower before.
Probably. It's probably like these
They just retired.
they
They
just
just want to
retired.
teach. They just want to teach. Well, it's possible they haven't, but like if they did, I would love to see like the backstory of that and how like and what happened to the other professor and everything. That way we can kind of get an understanding. But we're gonna get the perspectives of Will no matter what. So I'm curious to see what happens after that. With the second bloom because we're gonna be seeing this episode tomorrow, guys. All right, let's relax. Um, and when this episode comes out, we'll be seeing that following episode,
Yeah.
the day after. So I'm curious to see where that goes. But the tower, it feels like there's just so much rich lore that we have not received that we're just dying to get. And that's why this anime is kind of hooking me because, first of all, the cliffhangers are great. They're doing a great job with the cliffhangers. But also, the characters, the side characters, the supporting cast, they seem interesting to me. How do you feel about the supporting cast? I'm not even just talking about like the characters that were around Will because those are really interesting characters.
Mhm.
I'm talking about the ones who drafted them. You know what I'm saying? Like really look at the Magia vendor that are on top and look at those characters and I guess Cruz is included. How do you feel about the supporting cast?
I mean, so far they've definitely established what exactly they are trying to look for. In a way, each one seems to have its like sort of personality based off of its element. I think so. We have what is it? The lightning guy.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely looks like he's looking for people that are strong, confident, and you know, gonna bring something to the table and test him in a way.
Mm-hmm.
If someone tests you and you feel like you're a top dog or something, or
Yeah, good luck.
top dog, they want to see if you got that dog. You have that dog. Are you rough? Or are you no rough? Rough.
Oh shit.
Oh man. Um, for was it Wind? I feel like they're very serious.
It's the girl. It's the
Yeah,
the elf girl.
the elf girl, the one that's the sister of that of the guy. Sorry, what's his name?
Yeah, I forgot his name.
Yeah,
I could try to remember it, but I'm probably not gonna remember it.
I'm not gonna
He's got green hair. That's all you got.
remember. Yeah,
The elves have green hair, so
I feel like they're
the
very.
relationship between them. I love how they're like trying to. She's trying to like stay tough. She's like
She's like my brother.
my brother, but
But
she deep down she's probably like yes, yes, brother, yes.
I gotta see. I gotta
I gotta
see
see it first. Like,
first.
we
I
haven't
gotta
seen
see
it yet,
first.
but I have a feeling that she's along the lines of where she has these feelings for his brother or her brother, that are very familiar, right? Because she's their family, but she can't lean into that because she's supposed to be this strict elf, right? She's
Mm.
supposed to be on top of the game, and like making the elf family proud and all that nonsense, whatever. But I'm curious. I want to hear more lore about that one as well and how the elves are involved because I have a feeling that the history between the elves and the dwarves play a part bigger than the humans and the dwarves.
It probably does because that's probably how the wand and sword thing came about, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I'm thinking like, okay, you have humans, right?
Hmm.
But then you have dwarves and then you have elves. Who came before them? Who came before humans? Probably those two.
It's got to be those two.
They live longer,
Yeah.
most likely. And I don't know if it's the same thing that applies in this world, but if it goes by
Just
how almost all fiction was,
fantastic fix. Yeah.
come on.
Yeah, and also this is just common lore. I feel like anybody who's into elves and dwarves, you can look back at all the previous fictional works of fantasy, right? The elves and the dwarves never get along. They never get
Beef.
along. They always got beef, bro. Always. Like, when is there a time when they don't have beef? Usually after they squash the beef. So that's the only other time where they don't have beef, when they squash the beef. That's it. So when you're thinking about that, there has to be some historical context there between those elves and dwarves that play a part in the wand and sword, but also within how the tower is you functioning. So I'm curious to see how that works. Why are there dwarves in the tower? You know, there's dwarves outside the tower, but are there dwarves in the first floor of the tower? Like, are they doing work too as well? I haven't really seen any, but I'm curious to know. And what is the relationship between Will and the dwarves? It seems like he's got some dwarf in him, but I could be wrong. But there seems to be more inside Will because we get in these flashbacks of this witch
Mm.
that seems to be like the queen of all witches, the
Yeah.
grand witch. And apparently, Will is her kid, but we don't know for sure. You
Come
know,
on,
we're just
dog.
getting all these flashbacks. We don't know for sure, and you could assume, but we need a actual confirmation. We need more information, more lore. That's why I'm like so interested because I want to know, where does Will come from?
Came
So interesting.
came from the seed, dog, man. Just came from the egg.
Yeah, it came
Came
from
came
came from
from
the egg.
wherever.
Came from contra. So yeah, I guess yeah, I wouldn't really call it like immaculate conception, but it's possible. Who knows? But like, I'm just
Mm.
thinking about it, and I'm like, there's so much that we have to go for here. So much interesting lore that we have to dive into. That after the season ends, I might just have to read the manga. Like, this is just there's a lot. There's a lot here. Um, Let me look at my points real quick. I feel like I had something I wanted to mention. Oh yeah, so Elfaria.
Mm.
How do you feel about Elfaria in the story?
So far, she is hmm. They put her as a key anchor in terms of the memory of Will.
Hmm.
So when we think about what his goal is to get up to the tower, which he did, but now also to be with Elfie.
And
These
they
are
both were in an orphanage.
Yeah, they were both in the orphanage. They're both grew up, around each other, and we saw that in the flashback that
Hmm.
she was making candies with her ice powers, and he was eating them. Oh
You know
well.
what's funny? I wonder if that's why. he had the magic inside of him.
This is what
But
I
you know what? Forget it.
this is what I've been
This
saying.
is what I'm
I was wondering if that was the case because
big brain if that's the case. But like, continue.
I mean, like you think about it, like okay, um, noticing that he had stored up magical energy, you're wondering if that was always what they were doing, and then he just happens to have like all that stored up, but also the fact of okay, you might be the son of a well-known witch. Yeah, of course, there's gonna be some sort of like strength here.
Oh yeah,
It's just the fact that you can't use magic. It's not that you're trash. It's just that literally all the magic is built up inside of you. You just don't know how to utilize it or bring it out.
exactly.
That means there's going to be destruction.
Oh, 100%.
I'm waiting for there's going to be the next step. I don't know if it's going to be next few episodes, but even the next season. Once it starts to ooze out and he can do it,
Just like that.
just like that.
Well,
Mm,
this is why I bring up Evaria because I feel like she's essentially the catalyst for more growth. Because
mm,
his goal has always been her.
yeah.
He's always wanted to reach her. Like after she got scouted from when she was so young out of the orphanage, basically. Um, Not even out of the orphanage. It was more so they were in the orphanage, yeah, but like it was in the Magic Academy. I think she was just scouted early or something. Um, from that point on, he's wanted to reach her, and this is without the context of his memories because apparently he didn't remember what happened between the two of them. Yeah, he remembers everything else, but besides that specific point where they literally, you know how people bond through trauma, they literally
Yeah.
had a traumatic experience. But that did not, I guess, enable the bond that he has right now. It was enabled by everything else that he's experienced with her. So having those memories restored through Seridan and through what she did and her powers and all that, um, sort of adds an extra layer and provides more emphasis to his character because I feel like he's going to now with that knowledge, he's going to be even more fervent to reach Elfaria, even more like oh, I'm ready to go. Like I did this, I protected her, then I can protect her now. You know what I mean? And you mentioned this in the previous, no, like 3 or 4 episodes ago when you mentioned the destruction. You mentioned that you feel like Elfaria is going to be put in danger. I have a feeling that could potentially happen because
Yep.
it's like a full circle. And stories tend to do this, but I have a feeling with Story One and Story is going to do this as well, where it's going to be a full circle, and he's going to have to protect her again.
Mm.
And by all means, that's how it should be. But it would really suck if she dies. So I'm gonna hope and pray that
It
she
would
doesn't die.
suck.
I'm hoping and pray that she doesn't die. But I do like her position in the story. I don't think that it's like an overused position in terms of like having a main character chase after something because having a main character chase after something that is not just a lofty goal. Um, it is a lofty goal, but I'm talking about like in terms of like you know how people want to be like the king of the pirates or they want to be the greatest mage of all time and they want
Hmm.
Will's goal is not to become the greatest mage of all time. Will's goal is her. So without her in the picture, how does that translate?
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
it's feels more a little bit more realistic as well. So I'm curious to see how that turns out.
Yeah, it does feel more realistic because I'm not gonna say everyone um doesn't or can't formulate their goal and that's what they want and they go out and get it to go through all the full steps. Sometimes people they get to a goal. Once they get to that goal, they have to set another one.
Yep.
Set it like a waypoint.
Like a point.
Just how it is.
Yeah. But yeah, man, with Story One, the sword has been great. I've been enjoying it. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's probably the highlight of besides slime for me. Honestly, it's to be fair, it's highlighting me more than slime only because I already know what happens in slime. So I'm just kind of like seeing everything just kind of reanimated.
Mhm.
Um, not reanimated, but animated. So seeing this is a surprise to me. I don't know. How do you feel comparing this? I know that you haven't watched a lot of what's out this season right now, but how do you feel comparing this to the rest of the season that you're watching? And um, do you think that it's like sort of like the breadwinner of the season?
I think it's definitely has an impact on the season. Like as for breadwinner, probably I'm not watching it right now, but probably ReZero. A lot of people have been talking about it for the
Yep.
most part, but it has my eye because it's something that is relatively new, even though it's the second season. It's relatively new, it has the ability to grow. Like it has a pretty wide margin on like developing as a homemade, um, you know, here to stay
Oh yeah, okay,
anime.
it could be the next Kaiju number 8 level. It could be the next Demon Slayer level. I mean, I don't know if it'll hit Demon Slayer's peak, but it's basically setting the foundation for it.
Yeah, it's setting the foundation for a really good story and a really good ending. I want to see how it flourishes because not only do you have like some decent hitters here and there like this season, but even towards the next season, I'm hearing a couple of few things as well. So I want to see it cement itself in its place because we got some more stuff coming,
Oh yeah,
some heat.
we got some heat coming. Well, before we close out the episode, I did want to mention, and this is a story one and sort of primary episode, but I wanted to bring up Classroom of the Elite because I am watching that as well. I'm
Hmm.
watching other shows as well, but Classroom of the Elite, I feel like that's the other one that's really just kind of like hitting a peak for me. If y'all haven't watched Classroom of the Elite, you should. It is a really good show about how these students are elite and they're going to this elite school, and the only way to graduate from this elite school is by undergoing these various tasks and tests that are honestly very, very dangerous, and can get you expelled. So definitely watch it.
Yep.
But um, we're at the point now. This is Classroom of the Elite season 4, uh, where the main character is still doing what he does best. He's still a manipulator. He's still cooking people. It's nothing has changed. And just when you think he's gonna get cooked, no, no, Ayana Koji has the W. So
Damn.
that's why I'm kind of giving you a little bit of a nudge. You will watch this and you will be pleasantly not surprised at how he tackles the situations. And that's the interesting part because you already know that Ayana Koji, he doesn't really have that much room to growth because he already has done all that growing from the White Room. The other characters that he impacts, that's what you want to see because every decision that he makes sort of moves pieces on a board. So I think you'll enjoy that a lot. I mean, you already watched it, so you already know. But once you actually watch this season, you will understand. Okay, I see now. Ayano Koji really does have things in his control. I'm curious to see where that goes. I've watched 13 episodes. It's gonna be a 16 episode season, so I
Hmm.
think there's like another episode or two I have to watch before. Yeah, 3 more episodes. Um, so I'm happy and very happy about the season because of what it's done.
Okay.
However,
Perfect.
however, I am only concerned about how much views it's getting.
Hmm.
I want it to get more eyes. I feel like a lot of people watch it, but I think it needs to pull in more people. So I'm hoping that we see the numbers increase because the show is a great show, but it needs more eyes. I think ReZero is probably the one that's like taking the cake this season, besides Witch Hat, because Witch
Yeah,
Hat's Witch
which
Hat.
yeah,
Like we already
understood.
expected Witch Hat to kind of like just carry the season, but ReZero is probably the one that is at the peak right now in terms of people watching.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I hope you watch it though.
Okay, I will definitely get to it.
What I will say is I'm gonna watch the other anime that you recommended, the Demons of the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, Demons of the Shadow Realm. There, that's also a pretty good one. It's not hidden as much as I think the others are, but I definitely think it's something that you could enjoy, for the time being. So
Got it.
it's doing all right. It's doing all right in my opinion.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I'll add that onto the list. I feel like there's a few others that I wanted to watch as well, but I mean, you already know I'm watching Doctor Stone, which I will talk more about later on. Probably not gonna have a full episode about it, but I'll definitely discuss some of it. Um, and I think there's two others that I was watching, but I'll talk about that later. This has been Anime Intervention episode 44. Thank y'all for coming out and listening. Um, Honestly, it's a pleasure to really talk about anime. Really is. So we will catch you on the next episode where we talk about anime coming out next season. All right.
Yes, we will.
Cool. Like and subscribe and deuces.